Yeah, Assassin's Creed, lasso to the hammer squeeze. Throwing Wonder Woman battle at the apple trees. Or like Adam Eve happened at an Applebee's. Y'all can go half on a sample platter, you can have with cheese.
We live in a time now, ladies and gentlemen, that I can safely say that Marvel animation is better than DC animation. I didn't think we would ever get to this point in 2024. If you would have told me this 2 years ago, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Marvel animation is better than DC animation right now. And this is on all fronts. Animation, storytelling, just all that. So DC released their disappointing Crisis of Infinite Earth Part 2. And this was a disappointment. However, compared to the first one, it's about the same with me. Grade is still the same, like a 5 out of 10. Nothing great, nothing I definitely won't rewatch. I think I gave it a 5 because it's not as bad as the first one. I think the first one was, I know War was like a 4 or something for me. I think I gave that one either a 5 or, I can't remember the first one, but it was a low one. I definitely won't rewatch none of these again, ever again. I don't, even if I do like a second look down the road, I don't see myself rewatching it again. Anywho, what is the difference from part 1 to part 2? I'll say this. As much as I like the Flash, the first part 1 had a problem just going back around. Flash did a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Traveling, and it was getting convoluted, and it was kind of hard to keep up with it a little bit. At least in this one, we pretty much have, it's a 3-person show, so you can pretty much figure out where they're going in this damn film, and the characters they follow, and the story, it's not good. It felt like the writing team thought, well, let's follow this character, and we could tell a better story through that. Yes, but have you done your due diligence in your job as telling us these are interesting characters? No, they have not. The only characters they should have followed were Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. More so Superman and Batman, because they're the ones that had the most development. Hell, even Green Lantern, as much as I hate Beware My Power, and I think started this whole bad films for Tomorrowverse, that's a better character to follow. They don't do that. We get a father-daughter dynamic between Monitor and Supergirl. And I was like, not interested. I thought that was a terrible idea. That wasn't necessary. Then we get another story with Psycho Pirate. And I don't think we've seen him since Justice League Society. And that wasn't necessary. And literally we get a backstory with him. Not 2 minutes here. Literally 20 minutes of dialogue, backstory with this character. And I'm sitting here like, who thought this was a good idea? Nobody cared for this character. And it's a villain. None of that. Not even a great villain. It's a character that you would look at like, oh, okay, interesting. Maybe I could use him down the road in a Flash episode, or maybe I could use him down the road, but nothing like to a level of Justice League Crisis. He shouldn't have this much backstory, but he did. Literally, he got a lot more backstory than most of the characters that should have got backstory. That's a problem. And at one point, they kept calling him Charles. At one point, I said, you talking about Charles Xavier? Because I'm like, yo, who is this Charles? Like, go by his damn name. I don't care about all this other extra stuff. But they did that, and it's just, I was not interested. And the whole storyline with Kara hating the Monitor because he didn't do nothing at the time where she needed him to do something with the plan. It's all that. It's unnecessary. If you ask me, Justice League Crisis could have been broken up into 2 parts. Now you probably say, how, Johnson? You cut off maybe a good 45% of this film, and maybe add 30 minutes to part 1, and maybe add some more part to part 2, and that's what you needed. I actually look at part 2 as an unnecessary film. We did not need part 2. It didn't expand nothing that much. It didn't really do nothing for me. certain things that could have been cut off could have been added to another part of the film. I mean, it was not necessary. I really looked at this like this was really nothing. This was a waste of my time. Time that I would never get back again. And I really do hate this because I want to enjoy this and I want to love it. I'm a DC fan and I've always been a fan of their animation. Their animation have been top tier. This is not top tier. This is trash. This is garbage. This is the definition of why a lot of people are not really digging what DC's doing in their animated department, because they took storylines and they think, okay, well, let's take these storyline names and let's do our take on it. Cool, do your take on it, but still make it faithful to the source material. They don't do that. They do their own thing. Like I said, War was a Twilight Zone episode. And sure enough, it was a fucking Twilight Zone episode. This was it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I said my piece on certain things. I really do. If you like this, cool. It just ain't for me. I gave it a chance, part 1, and then this part 2. It is. I will watch part 3 to see where this goes, and I definitely will watch part 3 because part 3 is Kevin Conroy's last role. But the way they did Batman Beyond in here, I don't think he has that much lines. Because Batman Beyond voice actor Will, he only had about maybe 2-3 lines. And I was like, really? Because when you first see him, he ain't saying nothing. So you're like, well, so that's it? Then when he finally comes back, you're like, okay, he says something. Then you have to rewind it. That's it? I was like, yo, man, y'all tripping. But other than that, guys, that's all I got to say. As always, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. The outro will end it for you. I'm out.